So my name is Jessica Jenner and I'm 24 years old. I am working as a style editor for an online publication. As a style editor, some people might think my job is totally styling, but my main responsibility on a daily basis is brand collaborations and communicating with people that we might want to profile and making sure that they align themselves with our creative direction as well. So it's really important for me to be there and oversee the types of people that we're talking to are definitely sort of on point with our brand. So I went to university and studied fashion promotion at University for the Creative Arts in Rochester. Whilst I was there in my first year, I got an internship with a small PR company, which then very quickly offered me a part-time job. So I did that for 2 years whilst I was still studying, and then left the company whilst I was in my final year just to put my focus into university. After I graduated, I became a personal shopper for Topshop, and after 2 years I kind of wanted a bit of a career change, so I became an e-com stylist, and I did that freelance for 6 months as I started to job hunt for something a little bit different. I came across this job role on the Dots. The actual job role was a social media coordinator role. So when I went for my interview, it was really sort of personal, and myself and the creative director just got on really well. But over the first 2 months of us starting, the job role kind of started to change after she realised my background in fashion and styling and PR was so strong. We were developing the publication at the time. I actually became style editor instead of a social media coordinator. So although I still have a presence in social media, my job role did evolve quite quickly. I arrive at the office at 10 a.m. I go from Tooting all the way to Old Street on the Northern Line. It's good because we start a little bit later, so the commute's not as bad. I love my sleep, so I have breakfast at work. Our office wear is pretty casual, it's more smart casual, so I might wear like a shirt and jeans but kind of casual it down with a pair of trainers, or if I've got like a meeting with people like brands or PRs, I might put a heeled boot on just to smarten it up a little bit. But generally I just pair something like a dress and a casual bomber jacket, or sort of like a silky shirt with some trainers and some jeans. So as a style editor, my job is to style all the shoots and pull in clothing and samples, fashion samples from the PRs and designers, and also props. But I also do brand collaborations, so any feature that we're working on, if we want to profile somebody, like a founder of a beauty brand, or if we wanted to test out some samples, it's my job to set up the communications. And I also come up with a lot of content ideas as well, so we'll have content meetings which I pitch ideas for just like the rest of the team. So in the immediate team there's about 5 of us, so we have a creative director who's also the founder of the publication. And she'll just oversee everything. She might come up with some ideas and just kind of ask you to work on the stuff that she's thought of, but everything, any shoot, any piece of writing, she will edit and decide if it's worth like putting in the publication. Then we also have a digital content editor who writes everything for the publication. Not only that, she'll also write all the captions for social media, and she'll also suggest ideas for any content ideas. Then you have myself, and I have an editorial assistant that reports to me, basically helps with all the styling, assists me on shoots, any admin or communications or contact databases that need updating, that's what they'll oversee. And we also have a producer who will film all our videos, and will also make sure that the budget is correct, and just make sure that everything's working smoothly when it comes to film productions or shoot days. Start my working day first of all by checking emails, and we all kind of just get our heads stuck into emails for the first hour, and then at probably about 11 up until lunch we'll have a catch up, we'll have like an editorial meeting or maybe a social media meeting, and then for the rest of the day we'll just all continue to work on stuff that we've discussed in the meeting. But every day is different in my job role. But for example, a typical week for me last week was attending Fashion Week on Monday and Tuesday. So I networked with a lot of PRs and designers and spoke to them, as well as just other industry professionals. It's just really good for me to see like what other people are doing, what the new collections look like. On Wednesday we had social media meetings at work, so I was office bound that day, but we got lots done, lots of ideas flowing. On Thursday I had 3 meetings with PR companies to discuss possible collaborations with their brands, such as lifestyle brands like spas and gyms, restaurants, chefs that we could profile. And that day ended with a model management party, and then Friday ended with another office day, but it was more of an editorial day, so I was planning shoots for our fashion editorials. We've got a few shoots next week, so yeah, that was my week. So as our publication hasn't launched yet, it is difficult to build up trust with brands that we haven't worked with before. It's really important that they trust in us, so they know that the samples that we use are going to get published, and we're going to speak about them in a positive way, and that our publication's a success and that we get good readership. So I think the best way for us to put the trust in them is to present ourselves in a really professional way, and produce like really beautiful media kits and press kits, and our press releases are really clear and sound really professional, but it is quite difficult on a daily basis to make sure that we have got enough brands for each feature, and enough people to profile when we haven't launched yet and we don't have loads to show. The best part of my job is to be able to do really creative things at the same time as helping a business grow. So one day I'll be doing image references and mood boards and looking at fashion designers, and the next day I'll be profiling someone and interviewing them, or coming up with a suggestion of how to make our business grow. So it's really great to have like a balance of both things, and I enjoy them both, so every day like I really enjoy going into work. So a special moment in my job would be when maybe I would pitch an idea, and just in an editorial meeting, and everybody really likes it. For instance, just a couple of weeks ago I found a really interesting brand that I thought we could profile, and everybody really liked it, and now it's turned into like a big series that we're going to do on this brand. So it just makes me feel really good when an idea is listened to and we've been able to create something really special from it. My hours are 10 till 6. Old Street Tube Station is so busy at 6 o'clock though, so I tend to leave more like 6:30. In that time I'll be just kind of having a debrief with my creative director. Her and I get on a really personal level as well, so once everyone's out in the office we kind of have like a nice little chat just on a personal level. Usually after that I'm never really going straight home. I like to go to a restaurant or meet up with friends, go for drinks, and just explore the city, because it's just such a great place, and I'd much rather spend my salary on going out and socialising in the city after work than on other things. My advice to people that would want to get into the fashion industry or do a similar role to what I do, I definitely apply for jobs in more startup companies or smaller companies. They might not have as much money behind them as the really big brands, but it means that you have a lot of responsibility and you can do a lot more things there. Once you pitch an idea, it gets listened to, whereas in big companies that I've worked for, you do your job every day and you don't really get listened to as much as you would in a smaller company. Starting salaries in this sort of job role would be between 20 and 25k. You might think that in bigger companies you get paid more, but when you start off, everyone pays quite badly in fashion. So until you get up there, probably 5 years of maybe in the 20s, I think after that you can then start making good money. But unfortunately in this industry you do have to work for quite little at the beginning. but it is worth it. So I'd also advise for people that wanted to do internships or work experience whilst they're still a student or just starting off, it's so important to make sure you get paid for the work that you do, even if it's just travel expenses covered, because the longer that people work for free in the industry and are happy to do it, the industry just won't change, and it's a real big problem. So hopefully with more sort of government funding, these startup companies can pay a bit better, but ensure that everybody is paid fairly. And if you are looking to the big companies as well, some of them can be quite cheeky, and if you only do a placement for a few weeks, they don't have to pay you anything. So just it's so important to make sure that you are getting paid and your job is respected and your work is respected, and you get paid for what you do. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck with all your careers.